Freedom is the right to tell what they do not want to hear. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Tired of the same repetitive government narratives? Then wave goodbye to the distractions and rhetoric of corporate media. For this is Anti-Media Radio.
But I want to get the language right. The big government is in trouble.
You're all a bunch of slaves! Bunch of slaves!
What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
What's your definition of media?
And now, here's your host, S.M. Gibson.
Panic on the streets of London, panic on the streets of Orlando. It is 6/16/16. It is Anti-Media Radio. My name is S.M. Gibson. You're listening to UCY.TV. There's so much going on in the news right now, I don't even know where to begin. Let's go ahead and bring on sit-in studio sound director Shannon Madden. Shannon,
what's up? How you doing this evening?
Can't complain, sir.
Yeah, now, there's a lot of folks that can. I guess we'll be talking about a few of them tonight.
That's the truth. It's terrible what's going on. And Kevin Knight. Kevin.
Hey, buddy. Good to be back with you fine gentlemen.
Yes, sir. So, where do we begin? Okay, we have the situation that happened in London. It wasn't in London. It was in her constituency, actually. But we have a member of parliament that is dead, shot, stabbed. 2 little girls that are now motherless. A husband she left behind. They say she was liked by everybody, not just in the Labor Party, but she was liked by both sides. The Tories liked her. She, fought for all these good causes, tried to help, kids. And that's who they kill. That's crazy to me, that thought. And it's a woman, mind you, a cute, 41, 42-year-old lady. That's who they kill. Like, if you were planning it out to say, what could we use to get the most possible sympathy? That would be who you would pick. Like, you would think, you'd get one of these hated people. But it's always, like Gabby Giffords. She was somebody that people liked. And that's who's picked as some wild, crazy person out of nowhere. I don't know the full details of what.
Have we established a motive yet?
He was crazy, supposedly, like nuts.
Oh, obviously, but I mean, did he have any kind of personal issue against her? Was this a political cause? Certainly, let's go ahead and get it on the table right now because everybody's waiting for bated breath. No, he was not a member of ISIS. Okay, let's go.
No, he wasn't, and I really don't know what happened. But as far as the full details of everything, okay, this is what I know. He was. At first, they were saying that it was political. And that he was shouting Britain First, which is a right-wing political party in the UK.
That's being disputed, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, that is being disputed.
He may have said it, may not have said it, whatever.
Right. Okay, it is being disputed because there's people saying that he didn't say it. Also, Britain First political party. They're for the Brexit and leaving the EU. And this lady is very, she was very, very much in favor of staying a part of the European Union. So they were saying he's shouting Britain first, yada, 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 crazy right wing. And then it comes out that he was like, he had all these really bad mental problems and it was not political at all. So I don't know. I don't know which it is.
So maybe he was just a crazy person that attacked a woman randomly on the street.
It could be.
Perhaps.
It could be he's a crazy person that attacked her on the street. It could be the fact that he was affiliated with some right-wing terror group and like intentionally sought this, you know.
Gee, seems like I've heard that one before.
Thought that, yeah, right. And then the third possibility is that some, you know, MI5 or MI6 deal, you know, black room did what they had to do because nobody's leaving the European Union anytime soon. And to go ahead and make sure that happens, we're going to go ahead and now paint anybody that votes to leave it as terrorists.
15 of these type incidents is going to happen, and it's still not, you know, I'm sorry.
I don't know which of the three.
Great Britain is not leaving the EU. No. That's not going to happen. No. I think we're all
And I think it's a serious enough situation, and they don't really care about human life at the end of the day. I think that, you know, they would contemplate doing that. Is that what I'm saying happened? Beats me. I don't know. I know that those poor kids don't have a mother anymore. Whatever happened, it's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, that's the real thing here. Her family, her friends, the people in her life, you know, it was, you know, she was still more than just a politician, you know. So she was assassinated, and, you know, she's a martyr for something because real people were affected. Now, who carried it out and who did it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't tell you.
Man, it's a sick world we live in.
Mm-hmm. But I know that, you know, the guy that did it, he seemed pretty right-wing crazy to me.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, though, you had one person killed another person.
Right.
And for whatever reason or whatever motive we might suppose or eventually will come out in the wash or may not come out in the wash or misinformation may come out or the guy may just, you know, wind up getting shot Jack Ruby style. Who knows, you know?
Right.
At the end of the day, I mean, you know, we're still talking about people losing their life over ego. More of that.
Sure. Again. That's entirely.
Then again, if this was a right wing versus left wing, and I'm going to make a political statement here by murdering somebody down in the streets, then, you know, ego's all over that, baby.
Sure it is. Well, that's all any of it is anyway, isn't it?
It's sad, man.
It's all about ego.
It's sad.
You know.
With, you know, especially with greed with politicians, you know.
Well, yeah.
The power that it gives them. Power of the we the people. Go out and vote, everybody. Let me know how that works out for you.
Mm-hmm. It's just nice people. They're just nice people wanting to serve the community.
Look how white their teeth are. I mean,
they just want to serve the community. Who told you differently?
Did you see what kind of car they
Did
drove
you hear
up in?
differently?
Those people
That's
must
not true.
know something.
No, man. Look, okay,
let me figure it out.
No. You're okay. Let me explain to you how it works.
He was a lawyer.
Let me explain to you how it works.
Bill was a lawyer.
People, okay, they grow up and they say, I want to give back. I'm going to give back. How do I give back?
Hillary Clinton. This is a perfect example of Hillary Clinton. The life of Hillary Clinton.
I am going to become a lawyer because everybody knows that the most noblest of people pursue the profession of law.
The noble profession.
I've never heard a scant word yet about a lawyer in my life.
We're going to get some nasty comments from lawyers on
look, I'm just calling it how I see it, okay?
Fair enough.
Just reading the writing on the bathroom wall. So, okay, messed the mic up there. So where was I, Shane?
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
I know it.
To direct the sound.
All right, I know.
Like your mouth toward the mic.
Right. Okay, so where was I in my story?
I don't know, somewhere good, I hope. We're talking about the life of Hillary Clinton.
Okay, I remember. So they become lawyers. Okay, I got it. So the point is they go become lawyers. So that's great. They're already like a step above. They've chosen this profession. And then they go one step further. No, I need fame. I need people to know who I am, and I need a little something for it too. No, that's not true. They don't do that. That's never happened, ever. What they do say is, I'm ready to help. I'm ready to help out. In some cases, this is true because I know, like I said, I think Thomas Massey did that, but
it's probably one of the few. Thomas Massey is
right.
He breaks a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah, he does.
That is awesome.
Johnson and Mosh probably do. I think,
Oh, definitely.
But still, at the end of the day, it is. I think Massey actually took a big pay cut and
probably did. He's a smart guy, MIT guy, right?
Mm-hmm. But so anyway, they say I'm going to go give back to the community, and they get in their position, and someone approaches them at some point and said, I can do something for you. I can help you out because I know you need help. And they go, I could use some help. Never thought of it that way. And they take that help. And once they take that help, they've been bought. They've been sold.
Well, that's so sweet the way that you put it, but let's go ahead and paint the reality of the situation. You have two people that become lawyers, and they realize the vast amount of money that there is flowing through governments, through lobbyists. All you have to do is sit there. The phone will eventually ring. Somebody needs a favor somewhere, and there's a favor that it gets attached with it, and favors upon favors, and then, consulting jobs later on down the line, and, fancy dinners and nice vacations that you or I can never afford. And all you need to do is just help us out with this little legislation here. That's a little thing you just got to sign. That's all you need to do. We're good people. You went golfing with us. You know what we're all about. And that's about the size of it. And they suddenly realize, holy crap, man, there's a whole lot of money here to be made. Let's go. So then they go to the governor's mansion in Arkansas. There's money in Arkansas. Don't scoff.
Walmart.
Like anywhere, it's concentrated. So I assure you, I wasn't scoffing.
Oh, yes. It was very concentrated.
Walmart. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Hillary was on the board of directors.
Yes.
Of Wally World?
And it's funny.
You didn't know that.
It's funny how the ascension.
Back in the day.
It's funny how the ascension of Walmart also corresponds with the ascension of the Clintons in the national political scene. I mean, when did Walmart really come on the scene? When did we first, screw, Zare and Kmart? Yeah, I'm old enough. I remember Zare.
Zare.
Yeah, that was they closed down in the late 80s?
Yeah.
That was it. It was
I remember it. It was great.
Yeah, like most weekends, it was a trip to the thrift store. We had a real big.
We don't need to know about the trip to Zaire, though. I'm going to go ahead and stop it.
Why?
Because we need to get on to real information.
Okay.
Continue.
But right around that time, everybody, this new up and comer, opened up down the street, Walmart, and that was right around the time that Bill Clinton first ran for president. Now, of course, we live here in Birmingham, Alabama. We're a few states away. And, of course, like most, chain stores, they kind of adopt a few neighboring states and see how different business models go in different communities. And next thing you know, there's Walmarts everywhere. There's Walmarts everywhere. Everywhere. Man, what's that called? That Jade Helm thing. What Walmart have to do with that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's lots and favors and money, and we're only bringing that up. There's no real news story tied to that. That's general common knowledge. You can find that out in a quick Google search. Everything that I just told you. The thing is, though, is that that's a perfect illustration of what Mr. Gibson was talking about. You get in, you look around, and say, "Man, I could really help some people here that could really help me." Goldman Sachs, they help Hillary Clinton a lot these days, from what I understand. A lot of money flows. I'm pretty sure if you get down to brass tacks, some of it's taxpayer money is flowing back towards the shores of Hillary Clinton.
Unfortunately, not just Hillary. It's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Hedging their bets.
Well, we talked earlier. It was just a few months ago when we were reminded that Ted Cruz's wife was a executive up at Goldman Sachs. And, of course, he caught a little bit of flack for getting a personal loan. I say a personal loan. I believe, from my understanding, he kind of cashed in, borrowed against is probably a better word, some of his assets and got a loan to campaign through Goldman Sachs. So he called a little bit of flack for that too. But, this day and age, it's hard to find a politician, not that we're exactly looking, but you can't really, it's hard to get away from the idea that any of these politicians that are anybody these days, even I believe, obviously Hillary, started to say Bernie, but I think that's kind of, I guess, I would hope that I'd be wrong about Bernie.
He said he's not dropping out, but he's going to help her in every way possible to beat Trump. That happened tonight.
Every way possible.
How long has this been? It's been months ago.
You're talking about a sellout.
Since we asked when.
Hey, he's not dropped out yet, but
it was a few months ago when we asked how long back when Bernie was really kind of, and all of us probably knew people that were coming out and were. Screw the Clintons.
Feeling the burn.
Oh,
man. There was so much burn all over my Facebook.
Oh, yeah. And Burn was really at the height of his the Clintons
dank
are corrupt.
memes, man.
Lasted a long time.
Bernie was the dank meme.
Yeah, he was a
candidate.
walking dank meme is what he was.
Bernie was the meme candidate.
No, that's definitely Trump.
The dank meme candidate.
That's definitely Trump, man.
Oh,
here's one
he's
thing.
A walking meme. Yeah. He's the meme.
Ron didn't turn around and endorse Romney. For all y'all that want to say that.
Well, can't say that for Rand.
I didn't mention Rand. I purposely. No, we left Rand out. But I think we know. I won't even go down that road. But
he's better. Listen, Rand Paul. I wasn't going to defend him. I went through my phase of just being completely staunch. Like, he's not perfect. Because guess what? He's not perfect. But you know what? He's better than most anybody else. So it's fair. God bless him. Just let him keep doing his thing. Do I completely think he's the savior of everything? No, I don't. Of course not. But I'm proud of what he's doing.
It's a long-range view, man.
He's fighting for more than anybody else in the Senate. I'll tell you that.
He knows a lot more than... and that's the thing. I have an interesting comment that I think makes a lot of sense. He would be railroaded out. Anybody. If Bernie had been true to his ideals... Even Bernie Sanders would have been railroaded out of his party if he would have been true to his ideals, in the sense that if he would have reacted and voted the way, obviously he votes for a lot of big government solutions, but if he had really, if Bernie had voted the way that his constituents really want, I dare say constituents now, if Bernie had voted the way I think Bernie really truly believes, he would have been railroaded out. As Ron, and definitely Rand would have.
You can't say that about Ron. I don't think Ron ever.
Well, excuse me, Ron.
I think Ron. That's why he was, Dr. No. I don't think he ever.
You're right.
Didn't vote his conscience.
No. I said it a little quicker than what I should have, but Ron was the exception, not the rule, obviously. And I think Rand. Certainly. But obviously Ron didn't really truly get anywhere near the presidency as many of us would have probably have liked to.
No, Bernie got way right,
closer. And it was probably only with going along with what he probably, Bernie himself was a very ardent Second Amendment supporter when he first got started. He was a very ardent, hardcore leftist, and at one time the left in this country realized that guns and firearms would be needed and are needed, and at some point they had somewhat of a reverence for that. Bernie obviously gave that up, but you can even still hear a little bit of it, and sometimes this it's funny when campaign season comes around, he starts spitting less of the Second Amendment, his support for it. But in past times, he's been for that. But it just goes to show you that, the closer you get, the more that you go along.
Well, here we are now speaking of the Second Amendment.
Oh, right. It's going to line up and go for Hillary. That's what I mean. It's harder to get to a true position when you're a little bit more outside the mainstream.
Well, that's going to only serve to further galvanize, the division between the right and the left, the gun control issue, and
you think so?
Oh, I do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just another divide.
It always
potential.
I mean,
it's
you got
one more wedge.
When you claim yourself as hard right, or well, a lot of folks, nobody wants to say they're hard right or hard left or hard anything, but if you refer to yourself as a Republican or a Democrat, that's kind of one of your main edicts. You either have to be staunchly for the guns and everybody gets the guns and give the guns to the children, and you put guns on the table, put guns in the refrigerator, put guns up under the TV, you put guns anywhere you want to, carry them wherever you want to, so on and so forth. Or the left, which pretty much paints that picture of, oh my God, we just don't need all those crazy, just backwoods rednecks with all those guns, and we just need to get those guns out of those hands, and we need to get the guns out of everybody's hands, and we don't need any guns anywhere. That's. I mean, if you're a straight ticket Democrat, then yeah, that's how you're going to feel about it. And already on the face wall, there's all sorts of feels one way or the other. You got people, holding their own, gun at their house over their head, claiming out of my cold dead hands. And then you have, the other, sweater knitting leftists, putting up the meme of this thing about the guns or this thing about the guns. And if we just got rid of all the guns, we wouldn't have any of these problems. What about a knife? What about a rock? What about a car? What about a hammer? I mean, that's just. What about a chainsaw?
Look at the drug war.
What about a samurai sword?
Look at the drug war.
Intravenous drugs with poison. I mean, let's look at. I mean, which way you want to go with it? People have been killing people long before guns came into play. Guns just made it that much easier.
That's it. But but here's the argument. The argument is they wouldn't be able to kill as many people in as quick of a time if you wouldn't have been able to get a hold of that weapon. Yada yada yada. That's the argument.
Well, I'm going to make an argument that makes.
Well, first off, let me say this: do I believe that people need to have assault rifles in their house? No. That doesn't seem like probably the safest thing in the world, but at the same time, if everybody's got one, they got one, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other argument, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the word assault is, of course, a misnomer.
Well, what he actually used was an assault rifle, wasn't it?
Well,
the Orlando shooter. Because it wasn't an AR-15.
No, it was a 6 hour.
Yeah.
I can't remember the model. Justin actually brought it up on the show.
Yeah, it was a 7.62 round. But he could easily have killed as many people. The word assault rifle, assault, by definition, is almost a misnomer. Because, at least for the general population, assault can mean a lot of different things. But the 22 I have at home, I could add 3 or 4 accessories.
It's kind of like the same argument that people make, like pit bull owners make, too. Oh, he's not a dangerous breed. Go ahead.
This is a complete it's a complete emotional argument. It really is an emotional
Absolutely,
argument.
Yeah.
And I don't blame people whatsoever, but just like guns, just like drugs, it is a completely emotional argument. We're seeing the brunt of it. And we're going to continue to see this unfortunately, after every mass shooting that we keep seeing. It's going to happen. And this is not going to be by far the last mass shooting.
Well, you always see, no matter what, if there's a tragedy.
It was a Sig Sauer MCX. Sorry for the delay. But yeah, that was the weapon that was used. A pretty nasty, gnarly looking.
But whatever the tragedy is, somebody finds something to attack.
Yeah, he just could have waited a day and actually gotten in his car and drove down the street while they're having the pride parade and killed just as many people.
Both sides are doing it. Look, because the Trump people are like, we're going to somehow they've worked immigrants into the guy from New York that did this. I'm still figuring that out, but.
Parents were immigrants. He was
right.
not, from my understanding.
Yeah, they were from Afghanistan, but he was from New York, so whatever. But anyway, so, the right solution is to ban people, and the left solution is to ban guns. Ban. And that's all anybody thinks. So, yeah, that's what human nature, I think, is to attack something because you have an emotional reaction. So, whatever it is. And that's how they start wars.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Emotions.
Sure. And the government understands this, that fear is used, and they can take those emotions. I mean, they did it with Iraq. Everybody was, on the emotion of 9/11. And so they said, we can just point at a country right now and attack them. We can literally just do whatever we want.
I mean, that's pretty much part of what Wesley Clark, 4th Star General, said. You know, every problem is when every problem's a nail, all you have is a hammer.
So, you know, you get the mess we're in today. And did you see the numbers where it was the number of suicide bombers in Iraq prior to the invasion?
Yeah, Ben Swan's been. I watched it again today, and it didn't hit me till I've seen it a few times. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it really puts in perspective.
The numbers are outrageous. Like, we caused all of it. It's
like 4,500 or
when
something.
you look at the numbers, like, there's just no denying it. Like, that stuff was not happening over there. Now, was Saddam Hussein a good person? No, he wasn't. Nobody's suggesting that he was. But these people could walk down the road. They can't walk down the road now. Mm-hmm. Like, this is their Armageddon. Mm-hmm. Like, this is crazy. And nobody realizes it. Nobody realizes that our country went in there and did all that. And why? Why did we go in there and do that? Somebody still explain to me why we're there.
Freedom. We're liberating those people, right? Isn't that what the narrative was?
Well, now it's because ISIS is there. But if you think,
wait a minute, whoa! Well, who created ISIS?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's all Ba'athist regime raised up, you know. When we when the U.S. invaded and disbanded the whole Iraqi military and every bit of social order they had or whatsoever, that's a lot of these guys were old Ba'athist. But I understand exactly what you're getting at, Shannon. The U.S. and the Western allies aided the what would become the ISIS, and knowingly did so, knowing that the caliphate would rise out of the ashes of a power vacuum, and that's what we've seen so far.
But the chaos in the region has caused more excuse to be over there.
Oh, definitely.
Because, and a smoking gun on that is when Putin finally got over there and did more in 2 weeks than the United States has done in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And the United States is complaining, but it's like, we're doing what you're not. You're clearly not doing anything.
It's a show, man.
Yeah.
And now the U.S. is, I don't know if you guys saw, but Kerry is apparently pissed off because Russia is over in Aleppo acting more or less without the U.S.'s supervision or permission, which go figure. And now the U.S. wants to call foul on Russia for shutting down a lot of the command and control positions, like you mentioned. You know, they shut down command and control, did what they came in, did what they did with serious actually requests. You know, Syria gave permission and asked them to come in, did their business, and got out. And yet the U.S. has been there for how long? Doing what? I said the U.S. The U.S. federal government, completely separate from the U.S. From the American people.
Yeah, and you know I think that's an important distinction to make, because
it should be made often and always.
Yes, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you saying that, because it should be. And you know, when other people around the world view us, they view us by the actions of our government that we put in charge. But everybody's looking at them, so I didn't put them in charge.
Do you know
you did.
How many things I have seen of them talking to people in Iran or talking to people in Syria, and people saying, I don't have a problem with the American people, but I have a huge problem with the American government.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you there, bro.
And they're smart enough to realize it's not us doing it. But they're mad because we're bombing them, and the people in this country don't understand that. And it amazes me that we have this horrible attack in Orlando, and everybody starts grieving, and their response is to attack more. It's like, do you not understand? At some point, you have to, put pressure on the wound, and you're just bleeding out.
Well, then also too, we also have to bring up these status flag wavers that we see often and always, particularly on our Fox News, and waving the flags and talking about how great America is and so on and so forth. How many people voted in the last election again? I can't remember. I think it was like a third of the population voted in the general election. Voting population, yeah. So that means that we are the majority.
put pressure on the. Oh yeah, the majority of people are sick of it. There's no question. I think with the way the momentum of people that's gotten behind Trump and Bernie, I think it was because they represented an outsider.
Well, and that's what the rest of the world needs to realize, though, is that 2/3 of Americans who did not show up the polls, and I'm not saying that they're completely 1,000% fed up with it, but they were at least disgusted enough to not even have the trouble to get up and elect their leader. And we can cite a varying, just a whole list of different reasons why people didn't show up at the polls last time.
But you say that, and it's like, well, that's ridiculous. You don't go vote. That's ridiculous. You don't go vote.
I think it's apathy.
Yeah. Well, then a majority.
How many people are registered to vote? Of all the Trump, I'm telling you, and I've said this a few months ago, when Trump voters go to the polls, I wonder how many will realize they're not registered to vote.
What do you mean if I got a felony, I can't vote?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a few, but I bet you.
I done my time.
I bet you people. That's a good question. That is a good question.
You had to be registered to vote.
I don't know.
Past the cutoff.
Thinking about it, right? Yeah.
Where do I go to vote?
That's a great point. Never would have thought about that.
When we see people, I see it all the time on election day. Hey, where do I go vote on Facebook?
Yeah, you got to be careful because I'm guarantee you, well, they both sides, but I bet you when it comes to registering dead people and all that business, Democrats win that battle. They both do it, but yeah, I think the Democrats, they've got that down. They've got that election.
I still don't think it's enough to win or impact the general, even the popular election.
Now the Republicans, look though, they've gotten good at it as of late. They did it in 2000.
My daddy's helped.
They both pretty professional at it.
Daddy's helped them kind of change their mind about a lot of things over there real quick. The Republican Party has gone through a radical transformation. And at the same time,
it's not
the Republican Party.
It's all at the end of the day. It's still the same game. Yeah,
it's nothing more than a conduit. You've got how many millions of people in this country, and the only two options they have are either Democrat or Republican or not vote. I mean, the odds are people are gonna pick a party and vote with a party that represents really, honestly, nothing they believe in, or at least
think about all the people that were like, I hate Trump, I'll never support Trump, and just little by little, they're all just falling in line to Daddy's train. Boxcar Don.
He said something about them 28 pages. He's talking those things that people want to hear.
Hey, I know.
Not Hillary.
He's saying the good. He's saying the good word, isn't he?
Maybe a wall isn't
the great
so
word.
Bad. I got a wall in my bedroom. It's great.
It's great. It's a great wall. It's great. We're having a great show. We're about to have a great guest. Claire Burnish, you're great. How are you doing tonight, Claire?
She's awesome.
Thanks. I'm doing good. How are you?
I can't complain. It's
that's a lie.
Yeah,
that's a big old.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There.
I'm not going to.
It's one of them Hillary Clinton lies right there.
I've never complained in my life. See, that's Hillary Clinton.
I wish your wife was here right now.
That's a. I want to start complaining about that.
That poor woman.
I want to I know.
I need to start referring to your wife as that poor woman.
Probably should. Most people do. So Claire, geez, I don't even know where. We still haven't narrowed down a topic. We're just kind of all over the place because there's just so much going on right now. Running down the headlines from the page, you've got Sanders supporters have indicated proof the DNC used media to rig election for Hillary. Is it a shock, though, of what's come out about Hillary and, what is it, the DNC files against Trump and blah, blah, blah?
I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's not a shock, of course. I mean, if you have even one eye open during this election season, you can see how the press has favored Hillary to absurd degrees that make absolutely zero sense, at least to this point. And these emails that came out in the hack that also exposed the DNC's kind of strategic opposition to Trump actually exposed the media's complicity in trying to favor Hillary Clinton from a very early time, from like about a year ago at least. And it's as if the media acted in concert with the Clinton campaign, which we kind of knew from evidence that we've seen up until this point. But these emails confirm everything that we've been saying for months. There were, I mean, like just one part from their strategy says that the campaign wants to use specific hits to muddy the waters around ethics, transparency, and campaign finance attacks on Hillary Rodham Clinton. I mean, you can't get much more transparent than that. So here's the evidence that everybody was waiting for.
But is it going to make
no
any difference?
No, it's not. The only thing that's really going to make any difference would be for them to actually prosecute the innumerable crimes that are prosecutable at this point.
What do you think
but
about Assange has?
Considering that, who was it? Loretta Lynch was appointed by, I believe she was appointed by Bill Clinton. I mean, they work in concert with each other. There's no way that Hillary is going to be prosecuted. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Unless there's something so stunning that comes out in evidence, it would have to be absolutely pivotal and game-changing in order for her to actually face any sort of discipline whatsoever for what she's done.
Assange makes it sound like what he has is game-changing.
And I really hope that it is, honestly, because the amount of evidence against her and the things that we've seen and how pernicious and arrogant her campaign has been, I really hope that she does face some consequences just for that alone. I mean, that doesn't even speak to any other hundreds of other things that I've seen.
Yeah, and then you've got Rush over there too, who could, I guess, beat him to it, to release it. I mean, everybody's got it. Everybody knows. Like, she's just, the time's ticking, and I don't understand why she's running. I really, truly.
I don't either. How can you be under federal FBI criminal investigation and still have a legitimate shot at the presidency? I am this defies logic for me.
And then they've got the audacity, like the stuff her campaign says, like to just kind of rubs it in, like, oh, you shouldn't buy a gun if you're being investigated by the FBI. It's like, are you kidding? Yeah. You're running for president and you're being investigated by the FBI.
Yeah, and they make it worse too, because now Trump has jumped on the bandwagon where if you're on the terror watch list,
oh my goodness,
not be okay. Let's speak to the terror watch list for a second, because there is no necessity of proof for any individual to end up on the terror watch list. You can have some sort of flag where you say something a little controversial on Facebook and you can end up on the terror watch list. Some friend can say, have a grudge for you and point to something that you say and call it suspect, and you can end on the terror watch list. I mean,
reading a story the other day about an 8-year-old kid on the watch list, but accidentally got on.
There was a 4-year-old kid on the watch list.
Then there's multiple, because the one I saw was 8. That's wow. They accidentally got on there, and they found out when they're trying to fly, and the kid couldn't fly, and they're like, "Are you serious about this?" Like,
right?
Honest mistake, I'm sure.
But this is like the back door. This is the problem. Like, everybody's concerned with like this gun control legislation that might be coming. What is much more concerning is the fact that they want to put the whole terror watch list stricture on gun control, because anybody can end up on that list. This is the back door to legislation. This is like the much bigger concern.
I'll tell you what I heard. I won't say the name of the person, but I heard a story the other day about somebody getting black cat fireworks through TSA on accident. They didn't realize they had them. In fairness, they didn't know they forgot they had them through TSA, and went all around Europe, got through customs, back and forth, and made it back to the United States.
Wow.
Nothing happened.
Wow.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep. So that's keeping you safe.
I think I may have told you guys this, but I had a visit before I came to associate with you fine fellas. I had I won't say end of the life, but apparently, according to the FBI, I did. But the FBI came and visited me at my house and then at my workplace. And I had a couple meetings with these. I say a couple, 2 meetings with these guys. But as you can imagine, it's a laughing matter, but it's not. But it's amazing how easily it is to find yourself being interviewed by the FBI, and it makes anybody wonder. And as Claire, you mentioned the terrorist watch list. That's even, I think we talked about this off the show, that's different from the no-fly list, right? It's a completely different list, right? And so you can find yourself on either of these lists with a minimum of actually, for the first part, not even committed a crime, but just by mere suspicion. And it only takes the right person to make this claim, and you find yourself on it. And you don't know until you go to actually take a plane or to buy a gun, and there you go. You find out you're on a list, or suddenly you've been told you have to wait to do some steps.
Oh, and go look at is it Homeland Security, all the different things that you can do to be considered a terrorist, like use cash.
Use cash. Pawn shops. It was use cash. Use internet cafes and pay with cash.
Yeah, some of the stuff's crazy.
Yeah, they put up they had these flyers at a gun range I went to. It was saying something about it's been like a year and a half. Something about the people that come in want to do ammunition or to practice firearms skills. It doesn't. I mean, I think most people will be completely blown away, and they'd probably laugh if they saw not only just the actions but the words that they can use online that can easily throw them into the possibility of being on some list of some sort. The list, right. The words, is what gets me.
You can be escalated too on the list because you can be flagged first, like you were saying. I mean, you can be flagged for using, certain semantics or whatever, or being involved with a certain group, even on the fringe. If you have a friend who's involved in a group that might be somewhat suspect, but it can be escalated from there as well. Like you can actually end up on the list and under suspicion if you make some sort of controversial statement. And, I mean, we're talking about, in this country right now, people who are environmental activists are actually considered terrorists, period. Like, they are considered terrorists. Like, the government views people who are concerned about the environment as terrorists. That should be telling in itself. I mean, this is a paranoid government afraid of the power of the people and aware that we have the power to actually create change and to call out the government where it has problems. And yet there are so many people who still say, well, if I'm doing nothing wrong, then, who cares? It doesn't matter if they're watching. But they're missing the point.
Yeah, it's easy to fall into that. Choke Point, Operation Choke Point, one of my close friends who owns a couple different businesses. One of them, he actually owns a pawn shop, but they also do, they were constructing and doing a little bit of firearm work. Had their funding shut down. They couldn't get business loans for their firearm shop anymore because they fell under the eyes and fell within the scope of Operation Choke Point, which cut down funding to a lot of small businesses that just so happened to fall under what the government said constituted as potential, I forget what exactly they determined.
Reasonable suspicion.
Right. And so they cut in a whole industry full of people, not just employees, but business owners as well, just strictly out of suspicion that they could be involved with a situation that could eventually lead to God knows what.
Terror.
That's what it always is. Scared.
That scared me.
So, Clay, what do you think about what's going on in the UK right now? Did you keep up with that today?
I haven't fully formed an opinion on this, but it seems awfully convenient to suddenly nullify the debate over Brexit.
It doesn't look good. I mean,
no,
it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
So
I mean, I hate to say that, and I am not a tinfoil hat wearing person by any means, but my gosh, talk about like timing.
It could just be because I mean they say the guy was nuts, so it's possible that some guy just flipped. I mean,
right, of course it is.
But it don't. Yeah, just the whole thing, and I just feel for her family because it's like really overall because y'all are this terrible, like. You would do this? Like, wow. So, I don't know. I think people are that terrible, though. I think people are that, they would do that.
Of course people are that terrible. I mean, look at the tweets in response to this happening. People are like, oh, well, I mean, like, instead of, like, focusing on the fact that somebody was murdered, they're talking about, like, gun laws not doing their job. It's like, yeah, the gun laws didn't do their job, but come on.
It happened in Orlando. Okay,
Yeah.
We've got the first 3 responses, the first 3 tweets out from Johnson, Hillary, and Trump. And, Johnson, whatever you want to say about Gary Johnson, at least he was like, victims, talked about the victims. Hillary's was guns, 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 and Trump was me, me, me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that just goes to show you that it's the same everywhere. These people, and what's so ironic is today I sent out a tweet saying, I wonder how long it'll take before they blame the Brexiters on this. And say, oh, if you vote for it, you're a terror. You know how they're going to tie it into it. And somebody came back at me and said, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They've even suspended their campaigns. Within 30 minutes, I saw a headline of an article blaming the Brexiters. And this is what the crazy Brexiters have done. This is how nuts they are. Look at what they've done. They want to leave the country. Now they're killing people. So, yeah.
It's sad how society has simplified everything into these absolutist terms that just forget the issues and the finer points and the compassion and the debate and the intellectualism and everything else. It's this way or that way, and that's it.
Oh, with everything. Everything.
Yeah,
black
everything. That's what I'm saying. It's a generalized statement, but it applies to everything.
White, whatever color you want to pick, because it's Republican, Democrat. It's always a good guy and a bad guy with everything. Trump understands that very well.
Yes, he does.
He understands that theory very well, and he is definitely making sure to paint Hillary Clinton as a bad guy, which she does a pretty good job herself. I mean,
she don't need no help there.
She doesn't need much help at all.
No, she really doesn't need any help at all.
But that cackle, the old cackle, that cackling woman. So, yeah, well, I'm going to triple down for the millionth time. She's never going to be the president. Just throw that out there.
I don't know if we're going to have a president. I mean, the two of them both deserve to be in jail, so I guess we'll see.
Now, come on. But, remember that president?
Obama's got to be loving this. He has to be loving this. He's going to go. They're going to remember me as the greatest president that ever.
We're going to remember him, all right.
He's got to be loving it because they're going to be like, "Oh man, we thought it was bad under Obama. We had no clue."
Right.
It was
he's like, look, I screwed everything up, but look at these people that are coming in after me. Woohoo!
I feel that way. Like I've never liked Bill Clinton. Like I never liked him. But looking back on it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, will you please come back? Like it was way better back then.
You mentioned Hillary's cackle a minute ago. There is actually a video on YouTube right now where you can listen to Hillary Clinton laugh for 10 hours.
That's incredible.
That sounds like Dante's Inferno.
Oh man, that would. How long do you think you could make it?
30 seconds.
42 seconds.
Could go an hour easy. I'm the oldest of 14 children, man. I'm used to all sorts of noise all day.
For me,
long.
I would just be like, "This is stupid. Turn it off."
I wouldn't.
I would make it about 42 seconds, I think.
42? You could.
Yeah, if I'm lucky.
You can make it a minute.
Or unlucky.
God, can you play that?
No, you can't.
No, you cannot.
Enter the show. Can we do this? The second hour, we'll do 1 hour of it.
I'm not going to do an hour of Hillary Clinton cackling.
That would be awesome. We can make it like a contest.
They should have a doll, is what they should have.
No.
I bet. Yes, look it up, Google it.
Ooh, no.
Does the Hillary Clinton doll exist and it cackles?
That'd be like Chucky.
Hang on. I'm going to check
Get on this,
out.
Shannon.
I'm on this. I'm all up.
And if it does exist, find it and hit the order button.
Yeah, give me your credit card.
Fair enough.
Asshole. You saw y'all heard what he just did, right?
Hey, that's fine. That's worth it. A cackling Hillary Clinton? I think so.
You're it's like them cops are. You don't care if there's no cameras on you.
I bet you there's a bunch of different Trump dolls that go huge or something stupid. You're fired. Oh, I bet you there's a ton of those.
You know there's got to be one.
Yeah.
Of those.
Are we seriously having this conversation?
I don't see why we need to have any other.
I mean, it's as
conversation.
real as the stupid election. Why not?
That's a good point.
I mean, seriously, yeah. Why instead of just putting a president up there, just get a cackling Hillary doll?
Yeah, that's
It'd be more effective.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the cackle she lets out when he looks over her and calls her husband a rapist into her face. Or calls her a murderer over Vince Foster. I can't wait for that one because somebody in the media is going to go, you have to ask him this question in front of her. You have to.
What?
I think it'll happen.
I found a Hillary.
I think it might happen too.
I found a talking Hillary Clinton doll. They want like 159.49. It's supposed to say like 25 different phrases.
But I'm sure it goes to the charitable Clinton Foundation, so don't worry about it.
Well, no, this is, wait a minute.
Can you believe, like, speaking of which, can you believe Hillary Clinton came out and started talking about, what was it, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia funding terrorism? She had the audacity to say those words, like she fixed her mouth to say those words. Did she not realize that those places both fund her?
She fixes her mouth.
There was a story the other day that said Saudi Arabia has funded 20% of her presidential campaign so far, and she's got the audacity to talk about
just part of her script, dude.
Funding terrorism.
Yeah.
And they fund her.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Give her a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not just a little bit.
It's the same thing as having a hate crime massacre take place in Orlando and saying, oh, well, we better go and bomb ISIS in a bunch of other foreign lands.
Yeah, I saw that episode of Fox News yesterday.
Oh, yeah, they're ready to go.
Oh, yeah, they're...
His dad was a member of the Taliban. Forget that the Taliban hates ISIS and the ISIS hates the Taliban. Let's ignore that.
And the Taliban was actually suggested by, as we mentioned earlier in the show, General Wesley Clark was mentioned as using the Taliban, the military
Let's
wing.
ignore the fact that Al-Qaeda and Saddam Hussein hate each other and just attack Saddam Hussein anyway.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to attack him anymore.
So that's what we're doing here. Let's go attack ISIS because they had nothing to do with this thing that just happened.
We buried him.
Foreign policy, it absolutely relies on the ignorance of this population. It relies on the fact that nobody is going to understand that there's an actual difference in these groups and this population. People don't care. They don't realize. They don't even bother to investigate or understand the situation. And that's what the government relies on.
Oh, brown people? Oh, brown people?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bomb them. Bomb them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Brother Lane told me.
It's really sad. It's really sad and pathetic.
Yeah, you're also talking about the same populace that right now couldn't tell you who the vice president was to save their life. Who is the vice president, by the way? That guy.
Some silly pervert.
Where you hiding, Joe Biden?
I'm
sorry, that was just
some silly old
What did I just hear?
He ain't hurting nobody. Well, he's maybe hurting a few people, but
he's getting. I bet he's got a heck of a golf swing.
He's hitting on somebody's wife right now.
Yeah. I mentioned this the other night, but you weren't here, Kevin. Did you see the picture of Bill Clinton making out with that old lady?
What picture?
I'm gonna find it.
Oh man!
You didn't tell me about this.
I'm finding it right now.
Is he finally to the age where, like, screw it, I'll just make out with anybody?
Was it Barbara Bush?
Whatever.
Now, wait a minute. Barbara Bush, is she still around? She's still kicking?
Does it matter? It's Clinton.
No, man. I'm
there it is, everybody.
How's Barbara doing?
I wish I could put this up on the website or on the. Put it in the comments. I want to send it to you. Put it in the comment section on Facebook.
Oh man, he is. He's just like whatever.
Did she ask to be kissed?
Go for it. She doesn't look like like she's into it.
Yeah, we do have to ask that question. Did she ask to be kissed first before that?
It looks like she's enjoying it.
Okay, all right then. Yeah.
She definitely doesn't look opposed to it.
I can tell you, the old lady is definitely not. That's Hillary Clinton, his wife.
No, yeah,
she doesn't really care at this point.
Yeah, and why should she?
It just relieved her of any perceived duty she ever had. So.
Do you think she was kind of like a little bit relieved when they left the White House and she kind of, stuck around Washington and he went to Harlem to his little office there with the Secret Service agents and kind of just shrugged her shoulders like, well, at least the Secret Service can deal with his crap now. I don't want to deal with
it. Like, how insulting is that really when you think about it? That, like, to me, that's like, it's like the hot sauce thing. Hillary and the hot sauce. I keep hot sauce in my purse.
Is it working?
Right.
What hot sauce thing?
The hot sauce thing.
Hillary went on a radio station
in New York.
Yeah, it was a morning show, I think. And I think it was like an urban station, like hip hop or something.
Urban, you're so white.
I thought that was one.
Whatever, I don't
urban
care.
Contemporary.
Whatever. Don't make me start going into hit 'em up. I will. And I'll mean every
You feel like your
it.
street cred has been compromised?
Yeah. Okay.
I apologize.
Anyway. So I know what I was talking about now. We got the break coming up, and I got the time pressing down on me.
We're going to play Hit 'em Up at the break, I hope. We're going to play it off air.
We are going to play it off air. I tell you what, let's just go ahead into the break. Make sure to catch us every Tuesday and Thursday at ucy.tv/TAMR or the antimedia.org/radio, 11 p.m. No, it's 10 p.m. 7. Yeah, it is 9 Central and 7 Pacific.
10 Eastern.
That's it. And Nick is on Monday and Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, and Levon's on Fridays. Enjoy all the other great programming on UCY. This is SM Gibson Anti-Media Radio. We'll be back in a few.
First
We are back to the second hour of Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, S.M. Gibson, joined in the studio with Shannon, Kevin. Still got Claire on the line. Oh, man. So back into just the chaos of the world that we are descending. Orlando is just, think about everything they've gone through. They had the girl singer that got killed the next day.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. People forgot about that because of the other, but you had the girl singer get killed, then the next day you had the nightclub shooting. And then I think they had a fire, and then they had the alligator.
Oh, yeah, the alligator at Disney World. We hadn't even talked about that.
Well, that's just a tragedy. I don't know. What is there to say? That's just terribly sad.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know the story, apparently at one of the Walt Disney resorts in Orlando, Walt Disney World, one of their on-campus resorts.
Not every, like, to me, that's a situation. It's like not everything has to be politicized.
Right.
No, there's no politics here. This is simple. I mean, just about as simple as you can get. A little kid was wandering in one of their little concrete, little man-made, lagunas there or whatever, and is standing in the water. I think the like a foot of water. Just little kid standing in the water playing, like little kids do, and was snatched up by an alligator, and was dragged off. Now they have recovered the body, and the alligator didn't eat the child, but was still. Oh, that's horrible for those parents. And, somebody actually even suggested, the situation that happened at the zoo, the gorilla incident, we wanted to demonize those parents. And why aren't these parents being demonized? Come on, man. Are you serious? And again, that's kind of what it turns to. It's turned into this, okay, we got butthurt about this situation. What about this situation over here that has absolutely nothing to do with the other situation? And even there was nothing to do with the gorilla situation either. I mean, it was just a horrible tragedy that involved a kid being a kid at the end of the day. I don't know, man. All of this, somebody has to pay for this atrocity mindset that goes on sometimes. It's ridiculous. It really is. Somebody has to pay for this.
We still burn witches at the stake. We just do it in a different way.
Oh, yeah. Man.
That's just the kind of, that's society. That's human nature.
Yeah.
There's always a scapegoat. There's always, I must blame this and I must react this way to it. Yeah. And that's what gets us in all the trouble we get in.
True.
That's how we end up bombing all these countries. Because there has to be a reaction. Ban it. Stop it. Don't do it. I'm going to tell you what to do. Those rights you used to have, we got to take them.
You got to pay for this. You got to pay money for this and lose your job and lose your career and lose your family.
You said that's human nature, but, I mean, I don't know, really. If it is, I guess I'm completely inhumane. But I don't think it is. I think it's more of a group of people that feel like they can affect change and think that they should rule over other people.
Well, it's every group of people.
That's what I'm saying.
And everybody feels like they got to be a part of a group.
I say it's human nature because there's a group. So many people are like, oh, it's the Muslims, or there's people like it's the Mexicans, or it's the Syrians. Don't let them come over. Oh gosh, then we'll all be dead.
But does that represent? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it does. And you're a product of who you're around, and so maybe it's just who I'm around. But I hope that that's not how every other person out there besides myself and my immediate surrounding, you guys included.
I don't think we would have the rise of Donald Trump if.
Hard to argue.
If people didn't think that way.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
And I don't think we would, it was 10 years ago we were screaming our heads off to go into Iraq for no reason.
Well, it was just 4 years ago that Donald Trump tried to run for president and to a collective yawn.
Well, I think that at the same time we're told by authority that we had to go into Iraq in that sense. And now, and I think it's probably more indicative of people's desire to be told what to do and what to react rather than necessarily how to react. I mean, if we weren't told how to react, that we should have came together on 9/11 and bombed Iraq and Afghanistan.
That's what Trump represents, though. Everybody is saying you're telling me to vote for this person. That's how Trump's going to get elected, and that's why he's going to win so big, because everybody's being told they have to vote for Hillary Clinton, whether they like it or not. And they've been told they had to vote for Mitt Romney. They were told they had to vote for either Bush. And people are sick of being told who to vote for. And that's why Bernie Sanders did so well, and that's why Donald Trump did so well. Because people don't want to be told who to vote for anymore.
Well, part of why Trump's doing so well is because he's the one telling people to vote for him.
Well, sure, but he's playing right. Well, he's playing
him alone, yeah.
But he's working that system.
And Hillary's Hillary. I mean, people.
There's nothing she can do to not be the most.
I would never
wicked establishment person.
Right. And there's only two choices. Most people are still going to vote for it at the end of the day. One of the two, unfortunately. No matter how much they claim they hate Trump and or Hillary, they're still going to vote for, unfortunately. If they're registered to vote, that is.
People are going to vote for Trump because there is, no matter what, there's a question mark on him.
And they want to be in the winning side.
They're voting for Hillary because they don't like Trump, and they're voting for Trump because they don't like Hillary.
No,
literally, that's what the statistics are.
Support. You have to remember that people actually wear "Make America Great Again" hats. Like, people support him, and she doesn't have that. She doesn't have actual support. Hers is all, oh, really? This is what we get? Fine, I'll do it. I don't like Trump, so fine, I'll do it. But whatever.
And that's what the media campaign was for. That's why they had to coordinate the effort to, basically install her and kind of thwart the primaries to put her there, because nobody likes her. Because she's cold and she's a criminal and she comes off as very artificial for good reason, because she is.
So,
sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, to say that.
It's true, and she's, it's a kamikaze mission what she's doing right now to the Clinton legacy, and it's going to be funny to watch it go down in flames. I'll say that. It's going to be funny to watch.
If I got you a Trump hat, would you wear it?
No.
You would. You would so wear that out.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
You would do it.
I think
I'm not telling you to vote for the guy, but you definitely. If I paid my money and bought you the hat,
the principle of it.
I want you to do that now.
I'm definitely doing that now.
Oh my!
Actually, I'm getting online as we speak.
No, you're not.
Now.
And we need a picture too.
Amazon.
Can you at least get like an ironic one or something?
No, I'm getting that would be our. That's our. You know how hipsters do it. That's built-in irony.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I get it. There's a whole culture right now called the alt-right. Gavin McInnes. And
who is this?
The alt-right. Milo. Oh, the cool.
Milo. It's Milo.
Milo. Yeah, I got you.
Don't you talk about my baby.
I'll call him whatever I want.
I'm serious. I'm a straight dude, but I don't know. I could probably go a gay for Milo.
I still call him. Look, I mean, clearly it is Milo because his name's Nero on Twitter. I understand this. Don't care.
Well, he's probably playing off the idea that he's hated in remembrance.
You have to be, just a really, really just idiot not to at least watch him for a few minutes and get a chuckle out of him. He's good at what he does. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, he's funny, I guess. Well, I've always kind of thought he was funny until what I heard yesterday. Did you hear his little press conference he did in Orlando?
I didn't get a chance to hear it. Yeah, I had to log into Snapchat
was pretty bad.
And all that stuff, and was driving.
It was pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I hadn't listened to him enough because it was like, whoa, this is like you're getting close to wanting to ban people from this country talk. Like,
oh
yeah, it was getting close to that. And I was
all fun and games until
it was like, whoa. Yeah. Maybe I mistook it, but that's kind of how, because he was painting, he goes, no, it's all of Islam. He goes, it's all of Islam, and went down the numbers, and he's like, it's not just a few people. And he just went on and on and on, and these statistics from Europe, and talked about the refugees.
Selective reasoning.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now these days.
But here's the thing to all this. This is what people don't catch. These refugees wouldn't be coming here. And I know that there's a refugee problem as far as there's some people acting wild over there. That's true. Mm-hmm. So you can't just ignore that and act like that's not happening. Like it's everything.
When you treat people like animals, there's bound to be a few people who start acting like animals.
Right. But it's not, first off, it's not everybody. And these people are running for a reason. People are forgetting that. And the whole reason, like none of this would be happening. Like the whole world is this happening. None of it would be happening if we didn't go into the Middle East. None of it.
Yep.
So, there you go.
If I could turn back time.
Oh my God.
What Sherry's doing right now.
So, like everything that's happening started on 9/11. Mm-hmm. Every single bit of it.
Yep. It's when it all went down.
I mean, it kind of started before that too, but that was definitely the boiling point.
Yeah, that was.
Sure, I mean, there was smoke before the fire, but
lots of smoke before the fire.
But no, that was the blaze going up and that into the country.
Operation
like
your
freedoms
Storm.
were gone.
That's gasoline on the match right there.
Yeah, your freedoms are gone. We got this thing called the Patriot Act now. We're gonna have a whole bunch. We got Homeland Security. We got.
By the way, it's been sitting on our desk waiting for the right time
since 1996.
Right.
Don't tell you that part. It's been written for a while, guys.
Keep waving those flags. That's why we call it the Patriot Act.
Yeah, and Joe Biden was one of the co-authors of the original version.
Joe Biden, what are you hiding?
Joe, How I Came to Love the New World Order Biden. That was one of his college term papers. That's
not true.
Yeah, I swear. Yeah, it actually was how Joe Biden, and actually Clinton quotes, what's his name? Tragedy and Hope. Carol Quigley as one of his mentors, and I believe Joe Biden kind of quotes him as well.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of these guys are kind of old school, like, hey, I'm born into this idea that we've got to fight for the common good, which is not really good for any of the common man.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it really has a lot more to do with American exceptionalism than anything else.
Have you ever noticed, like, seriously, all these people that, like, end up in high positions of power at some point in their life are talking like, I'm going to rule the world and be in the New World Order? Like, Ted Cruz has a video like that. I'm going to rule the world.
16,
yeah.
17? Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. At some point in their life, they were saying that. They say Lyndon Johnson walked around since the time he was a teenager telling people he was going to be the president, and you're going to get over it.
I mean, who actually thinks about that kind of thing and thinks that's...
Yeah. Like, I've never thought about that. Like, at some point in their life, they're like, I'm clearly going to be doing this, y'all.
Do you think that Barack Obama, for one, when he was younger, growing up, from what we know about his age and growing up and kind of being... do you think he ever envisioned himself being...
Yeah, I think there's a lot we don't know about him.
No, there definitely is.
I do.
But I don't know. I guess we can't relate to anybody who actually envisions himself being at that position. So maybe that's why it's so foreign to us. But man,
I think Barack Obama was on the scene a lot longer than we realized. We didn't know him he wasn't a household name yet. but I think he was in some government circles probably longer.
Yeah, you want to talk about a
meteoric
rise to power,
right?
I mean,
yeah, I don't think that just.
Nowhere
I don't think.
You know,
he was a senator for several years before.
No, he wasn't.
No, like one term, maybe.
Yeah,
I say several years before he became president. I mean, that's Rand Paul ran for president too. After he'd only been senator for a few years. So.
Was he in for 4 years, or had he done 6 years yet?
I'm looking. Have to double check. But
I know.
I think he was the first.
It
seems like I remember the debates in and around that time, 2008 election, where there was a lot of conversation about him just being it was either a 1 or 2 term senator with very limited government experience.
Just out of curiosity, you guys familiar with the Shadow Party?
Shadow Party.
I've heard the name. I know nothing about it.
And it's been years since I've even looked at it. Claire, you may or may not. You probably have come across this before. But, yeah.
Hey, by the way, he was in office from January 3rd, 2005 to November 16th, 2008.
Wow. Didn't even serve a whole term. Yeah.
3 years.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, the point
no doubt. I mean, it was still meteoric.
So, the point I wanted to make, though, because he was a member of the Illinois Senate before that, so he was just in the state. So, but the point I wanted to make, though, was do you really think that all the banks and the powers that be and, this is who we're going to have as our PR guy for everything, the president of the United States of America, do you think they're going to be like, let's get this guy that's been in the Senate for 3 years?
No, that's why.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I think he's been.
That's why I don't think that. And that's the thing.
So I think he was probably around, inner circles a lot longer than we realize. I don't think they just said, hey, this guy that's been around for 3 years, let's make him president. I could be wrong.
It just is with his background, I'm surprised that he would have even made it to the position he was.
Like I said, I don't think we know everything about his background. Now, I don't think, he was born in Kenya, anything like that, but I still think there's stuff we don't know about his background.
Right,
I think there is stuff we don't know. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is, but there's something about him we don't know. And I don't know,
Who?
Obama. And I don't, I have no idea what.
Considering what he talked about.
There's no
for his entire campaign, and then having him be the complete opposite of everything that he espoused.
Yeah, and there's no real record of him being at Columbia, and for the president of the United States, because when he was at Harvard, he was big man on campus. He was president of Law Review, there's video of him everywhere. He was big deal at Columbia. Everybody's like, what? And there's some guy that supposedly graduated from the same class as Obama. Where he's some dude in Vegas or something, and he's offered money. He's I graduated from that class. He was not in it.
You want to hear something funny, something ironic? I don't want to get too far into it, but the governor of Hawaii, he's either still in office now or he had been for several years, claimed he was called out in an interview. Somebody said, he's not born here, and the governor said, and you can see all his interviews, said, oh, look, I'm going to put this to rest. I'm going to go back, I'm going to pull the records, I'm going to show you he was born here, yada, yada, yada. Well, I hate to even mention this, but that governor went back and tried to pull the records of it, and he was confronted in another interview and said that he was having some kind of trouble. But he claimed to be a childhood friend of Obama's for years, and especially particularly in the interview where he's called out. I say interview, with the press conference where he's called out and he decides to answer. He probably wishes he didn't do so, but interesting what at least his past. But I can't disagree with the idea that there's probably some things we don't know, but that's probably every president we've had. I think we'd probably all be a little concerned with what we knew if we did know. Regardless, he's in office now, and still I don't even think that it seems like even his aspirations, even things he do, and I don't think it doesn't meet up to the standards that I think what I've normally considered as globalist.
He is.
Oh, he's definitely. But I think it reminds us that there's different shades of globalists. When we think, and I think
because he's a smooth talker.
He is. He's great about it.
Because he can come across way different than the rest of them. I mean, especially when you're seeing this election and seeing how crazy everybody's acted, on every side of it. Obama looks like the same person in Washington, D.C. right now.
I mean, if you were a revolutionary, truly, I mean, what could you really do if you'd gotten into the office of presidency?
Nothing.
Right. And so that's why I feel like he probably...
Well, that's not true, because that's not true.
Right. To what extent? I mean, you know, it depends on what level you are. If you're a pragmatist and you're on that kind of level...
See, I just don't think any of that was ever intended. Like, it was just, this is the story you're going to tell everybody. You're going to tell everybody we're not going to be in war anymore. You're going to tell everybody this is going to be great.
Well, I think that there's a separation between...
You're going to close down Guantanamo Bay. Just tell them anything that comes to your brain.
Well, there's a separation between foreign policy
and guess what?
public.
None of it happened. He just, the other day he came out and just finally threw his hands up and said, "Yeah, I don't think we're doing it." Yeah, gave up on closing Guantanamo.
What was it going to do?
I guess but yeah, they threw the hands up. But they're obviously not throwing their hands up in gun control stuff.
But that's a national policy. That's what he's going to be remembered for.
Gun control?
The people here. No, I mean, the people here. I mean, I think there's a big difference between national and foreign policy, and we're seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, few people care about what happens globally.
People will always remember Bush and Cheney for their foreign policy, though.
Well, we do. But how many people are aware that Afghanistan didn't have anything to do with Iraq? Yeah, there's a growing population, but I mean,
See, that's weird to me. The first word that comes to mind when I think of Bush, like I would think most people, the first word that comes to mind would be Iraq.
Yeah, I mean, you're SM Gibson, man.
No, I think that would be universal.
You would think so, but how many people do you talk? Could you possibly ask? How many people are generally aware? I mean, unfortunately, I think probably a lot of times we tend to speak to the choir. It's a growing. You know, obviously it's getting more into the mainstream, but how many people would have questioned things like 9/11 years ago and why we went to Iraq? A decade ago, I mean, it's taken 15, 20 years for people to really, 15 years for people to really question it. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I still think, I hope that we're not in the minority, put it that way. We're in a growing, it's growing definitely, but it's still an uphill battle.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Yeah. So much bad going on in the world, you know.
I want to talk about something good for a minute.
Yeah.
Remember the story we posted, what was it, few months ago, about the petition to change the national anthem to Black Sabbath's War Pigs?
I was just going to bring that up.
Man, that thing was posted like 3 months ago, and suddenly it's now started showing up all over social media. The signatures kind of stalled out. Last time I checked it, the signatures stalled out at like, I don't know, somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000. It has gotten 1,000 today. It's over 12,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
because it's so incredibly pertinent and like it's perfect. I mean, it's perfect.
Who wouldn't get up off their ass when Ozzy started singing "Generals Gathered in Their Masses"? I mean, the whole place would just stop. Think about it.
I think it should happen.
Yeah. And again, when you go back and read the lyrics to the song, that's exactly where we're at right now.
It's a shame
that Ozzy Osbourne is the voice of wisdom.
It's a shame. Speaking of that, did you see, despite the international ban on cluster bombs, more than 150 financial institutions such as Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, have invested $28 billion in companies that make internationally banned cluster bombs. Hooray.
Internationally banned.
Yeah, that they keep, dropping in Yemen. Saudi Arabia keeps dropping. And where are they getting those weapons from? Who's selling them to them?
Greece?
Nope.
Ireland?
Yes. But look. Then they're about to do another arms deal with Saudi Arabia as well. I'm on it. Did you hear about that, Claire? There's other arms deal going down?
Yes.
Yeah. What was the numbers on it? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I don't recall.
I'm going to see what it was.
It's going to be something ridiculous, of course.
Let's see. Arms deal. Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Type in Friends of America, Saudi Arabia. I think it'll get you there quicker.
Probably. It probably actually will get me there.
BFF, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Canada now the second biggest arms exporter to the Middle East. How about it?
Wow.
Who would have thought that?
There must be some money in that.
Yeah, who would have thought? Canada's all up in it. Shows what you know. Well, I guess that's one thing, U.S., we know they're number one. And yet we complain about all the war going on in the Middle East. And where's all these weapons coming from? Like, that's none of it. Like, how nobody has said, wait. It's just this endless cycle. We're manufacturing war, literally manufacturing war.
Yeah. Well, I think who was it that said the only people that made money during the gold rush were the people selling the shovels?
I feel like this is it almost feels at this point like every topic is exhausted. How often do you have to point out common sense before people start to really realize what's going on? I mean, you stop bombing all these countries, you solve the refugee crisis, you solve the terror problems, you solve the animosity back and forth in countries. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's not even high school science. This is elementary. And yet it seems to escape everything.
Canada,
everybody.
15 Canada's arms deal. This is Justin Trudeau, who everybody's in love with up there. He ain't going to go to war.
Peace loving.
Yeah.
He's going to legalize marijuana.
Oh, yeah. Peace loving. Yeah. Like that.
And he just proceeded with a $15 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia.
Isn't that really surprising, though? I mean, all of these, these politicians with all this hope and stuff, I mean, they all fall into line and do just...
He did. Hey, at least he brought the soldiers back, didn't he? Or did that all fall through, like everything else?
Did he bring the soldiers back, kind of like we bring the soldiers back, for a couple of years till things die down a little bit?
Sweden, we canceled our Saudi arms deal and we didn't suffer. Yeah, but you're Sweden.
Yeah, why can't we be Sweden?
We can't be. That's not possible. Sweden's the size of our state.
So? Well, then why can't we live in the state of Sweden then?
I'm with you.
Because state in America? See, listen, states, that's how it used to be. It used to be called states' rights, and there were individual states.
Yeah.
And we were the United States.
Sovereign.
But see, at some point, the federal government came in and said, okay, we're just now going to be this one big thing, and those are going to be cute little names, and we'll do some taxes and stuff through it. It'll be fine.
You're just saying that because you wanted slaves.
Oh, yeah. My gosh. I didn't, look, that was a good thing. I didn't say none of that should have happened because human rights
obviously I'm...
But anyway, yeah, that's how it used to be.
You know what? I can take this. I can take a 5-second snippet of what you just said and basically have you saying that slavery was good.
Oh my God!
I like that. I'm gonna use that. That's gonna be our new trailer now.
Hooray!
Dang it!
Anyway, on to something.
I can't believe you said
ridiculous. That. Yeah. Wait, what is it? Deny. Recant. Do you disavow? Disavow. You should just do that for the next 30 minutes. Just scream at me, disavow.
It'd be better than listening to Hillary cackle.
That's exactly what's fixing to happen here in a second. I'm pulling that up now. Y'all go ahead and keep talking.
No.
Nobody wants to hear.
I'm going to give Claire nightmares now.
I'm going to hang up.
So no, you're not. Don't make me come up there and find you.
Yeah. So, hooray. Banks are...
Isn't anybody curious as to what this sounds like just for a couple minutes of it?
No.
30 seconds?
I'm not.
No.
Come on.
No!
Come on. Okay, I'm done now. That's pretty good, actually.
You put that sound in a doll and you are going to terrify and scar a child for life.
Put that sound in a doll and you'll make mad cash is what you'll make.
I think you would too.
That's like worse than switches and coal at Christmas, man.
I think you'd make
you get one of those and you were a bad child.
I really do.
I've got the trademark on this. Y'all heard it first.
No,
yeah, and there's somebody listening who's going to do it too, and I just no.
No, there's nobody listening that's going to do it because it's my idea. I came up with it. Y'all heard it.
Literally did.
Oh, you're going to pull intellectual property now.
Literally didn't.
You shut your mouth.
Anyways.
You want some of this cash or not?
Speaking of cash, the leaked list of Hillary Clinton's mega donors.
Woo!
How about it? Everybody was talking about the DNC documents and Trump. Real quick, because I can't let this go. Did you see in the Trump documents? I'm sure you did, Claire, about Trump's hawkish tendencies. That they want to attack him on his hawkish tendencies. It's like, really, Hillary? Seriously, you going to do this again?
I've reached the point now where, and I think you can probably tell at this moment, I just have to laugh at everything. Like, the hypocrisy and the irony is so thick, it's impossible to even get upset about it. It's like, wow, really?
Like, I can see her on national TV just pulling a gun out and shooting somebody and turning around and going, we need to ban guns. I could see her doing it.
It's the same time, if you'd said, though, without naming any candidates' names, or you'd ask me the question, what candidate, if I just throw out the term hawkish tendencies, what candidate comes to mind? Instantly, I would come up with Hillary Clinton.
Oh, of all of them running? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than Trump.
It's not Gary Johnson, but yeah.
I mean, Trump's probably going to start World War III, too, because look at him. He's flipping on everything and since, big shot.
Flipping on.
But he's not a hawk. He's not a war hawk.
I think not like her.
He's a loose cannon.
We know that he's a hawk when it comes to a big old plate full of nachos.
Yeah, I mean, he may start World War III. That is possible. But that being said, he's not as bad as her on foreign policy.
He's a nacho hawk.
So that's great. That's what we have in front of us. He could start World War III. We're not sure. But he's still better than her on foreign policy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
completely
untested. No.
He's completely untested. We have no idea, but he's going to be great. Everybody's going to love him. His friends think he's great. His neighbors think he's great. His dog.
So here's a question.
It's awesome.
Wait, this is a serious question. So somebody comes up with a new food product and a new medicine, and they don't test it fully, but they want to throw it on the market and make it something that everybody has to have. Is that a good idea?
I don't know. I feel like this is a trick question.
Yeah. Let's say it one more time.
It's worthy of consideration.
Say this one more time.
Just imagine that there's a new medicine that's coming out, and they decide that, you know what, we don't really know what it's about. We really don't feel like testing it. We don't know. It doesn't really, whatever, but everybody has to take it. We're going to make this medicine mandatory. So, let's just go ahead and make that a mandatory thing.
That's a great analogy. That's what Trump is, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, is that really a good idea?
Meme it up. Another good meme.
That's a dank meme right
there.
There's
a dank meme.
That's a dank meme if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, so that'll be up tomorrow. But that's true, though. Why would anybody ever go, hey, let's make this mandatory, even though we have no clue what it's going to do?
Like sour apple.
I mean, it could be great, but...
It could be great, and it could go really bad.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's like that's what a Trump advertisement should be. It should be like the whole advertisement, like a medicine commercial, and go, he's going to save the country. Everything's going to be great again. We promise it's going to be fixed. You've been sad. Obama's been terrible. It's going to be great. And then at the end of it, it goes, could cause World War III, could cause genocide, could cause... that should be a Trump commercial.
I like this idea.
I absolutely agree. Yeah.
That should be a Donald Trump commercial.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Let's get on.
All those things are possible. Could be great. Who knows? Who knows what he believes?
We can get Black Trump involved. Roy Wood Jr.
Oh, Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah, he's Black Trump. That'd be awesome, actually. We're gonna pitch it. Yeah, I'm down with that. Roy Wood Jr. is Birmingham family.
Yeah,
we still claim him.
Does he still live here?
No, I know he's got a lot of family and stuff here. I don't know if he's still officially here or not because he works abroad.
He's a famous stand-up comedian, Claire.
And he's hilarious. Black Trump.
Oh, I think I might even know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Black Trump. Check it out. It's on the Daily Show, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I do remember now.
Yeah,
he's from Birmingham. Yeah. That was the whole point of it.
I was still trying to think of swallowing the Trump pill, and it was tripping me up.
Who better to do it than Black Trump?
We should have that. We need to do that and put it.
He'd be all over that, man.
Hit him up.
All right, we're gonna hit him up.
Hit him up.
See if we can't get him on the show.
Roy Wood Jr.
Roy Wood Jr. would be. I mean, it would be a hilarious show.
It wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah. I guess we have to go back into, all the positive in the world. So, Claire, what was your assessment of Hillary's donor list? Did you really have much of a reaction to it?
Was there anything that surprised you on that list, first off?
Not really. I mean...
No, not really.
I mean, this woman has the audacity to go around talking about how... And now that Bernie's going to work with her...
Audacity is her middle name. What are you talking about?
And that Bernie's going to work with her. Oh, yeah, this is going to work out real well for everybody. And, they're going to go after the banks. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Who believes that? Like, who believes that's going to happen? Who thinks she's going to do that? I want to meet that person.
Okay, she's going to go after him and do what?
I don't know. Whatever Bernie tells her. That's what they're going to try to tell us.
Shit, whatever they tell her.
I'll say this. We're getting really close now. I mean, we're mid-June. We're looking a month away from both conventions. Both of them look like they're going to be trouble, and they could devolve very quickly into things. And if you've seen, there was a report today about the RNC in Cleveland and the absolutely ridiculous strictures they're putting on protesters and the venue. Like, there's a zone, this safety zone or something, I can't remember exactly what it's called, that is a 3.5-mile diameter area around where the DNC is, where that includes like schools and colleges and businesses and residences, and people are not even allowed to have backpacks.
I love the
I mean, it's going to, and they're not giving people who want to protest. They're not giving them the status of being allowed to protest. So if they do protest, and there is a counter protest against them for whichever side we're talking about, they won't have police protection officially, where a normal protest would be able to get a permit and therefore get police protection.
Oh, no.
So they are literally setting this up for violence.
The police are going to be there to antagonize people. But
and it's going to be really terrible.
I find so much joy in the fact that the Democratic National Convention is building a wall around their convention.
You can't be serious.
That's wonderful. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying it. I think it is, though. Who knows? I'm just saying stuff.
You weren't talking about the actual physical wall. You were talking about,
let's see,
the geographical lockdown of the area around.
No, yeah, that's happening. It's real.
There's a wall.
Let's see. DNC to build a wall for security around National Convention. And it's not.
You are kidding, right?
And it's not on the Onion. Let's see. The Secret Service special agent in charge of security during the National Convention in Philadelphia next month said there will be a security perimeter around the Wells Fargo complex that will extend higher than 5 feet. The DNC event
that's a wall.
Will include no-scale fencing, said Special Agent James Henry told NBC10.com. Henry noted that the specifics about the perimeter have not yet been finalized.
No, the wall.
Oh my goodness.
Let's call it what it is. Let's call it a wall.
So they're going.
Let's call it what it is. It is time to leave this place.
They're going to have a security perimeter around the complex that will extend higher than 5 feet and will include no-scale fencing.
Oh my
the Democratic Convention, who's protesting the guy that wants to build a wall.
Man, you can't make it.
You need to write about that.
That's amazing.
That's a story. That's your next story right there.
Yeah, for real.
What kind of world is this? Look, it's a joke.
I'm really not sure, you know?
It's just sad.
It's like you really find yourself asking, is this real life? And not just a meme. I mean, you really have to ask that. Like, how...
That's satire. It's a real story, but that's a joke. Like, who's doing that? Like, somebody's going, this is going to be funny. Like, somebody's building that while ago. This is
you know, somebody had, in the back of their mind, the person who was ultimately in charge of this had to realize the irony of what's going on. They had to. Here.
Somebody had.
You know, they did it on purpose. You know, they're like, this would be pretty funny. I wonder if anybody would notice.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I think there was a serious request that we need some serious security.
Are these people that dumb?
That's a possibility.
Sends out a tweet that says delete your account when she's going through this delete your email. Is she really so stupid to come out and say that we need to ban guns if you're under FBI investigation as she runs for president under FBI investigation? Is she really so stupid that she comes out and says that, can you believe that Saudi Arabia and Kuwait are giving these terrorists all this money and they give her a ton of money? Is she that stupid?
This is not real. This is not real.
Like, is this for, like, honestly, is that woman that dumb?
Well,
no, and she can't be, and that's the thing. That's where the question comes in. You know that no person is that idiotic. There is no way that she does not know.
It's like, this is the worst political campaign I have ever seen in my life. This is purposeful. Like, you're sabotaging yourself.
If you want to find out the truth to all these questions that you're asking right now, why don't you go down to the DNC and climb that fence and ask her yourself?
Is it? But you know what it could be, too? Hillary Clinton has just done so much in her life, so much crooked, that any topic that comes up, it's like, Hillary did it.
Yeah.
I mean, mention anything. I'm sure you could probably come up with some crime that Hillary Clinton committed.
You know, we're really going to miss Bernie when this is all said and done.
Oh, good old. At least, hey, Curb Your Enthusiasm is coming back for season 9, so who cares?
If Bernie Sanders is not on it, I will be shocked.
I think he will be, too.
I think he will be. It's only right.
It would be.
That's a good consolation prize, I think.
I think that's
You don't get to be the president of the United States, but you get to be on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. I would take that.
Yeah, I would.
I would rather be on Curb Your Enthusiasm than be the president.
Oh, hell yeah. Leon, come on, man.
Why wouldn't you?
Bump into Wanda Sykes every now and then. That chick is hilarious.
Leon's my favorite.
Yeah, Leon's pretty cool, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Hey, I'm glad I'm not alone. I was about to say, I know it's a television show, but I'm glad I'm not alone, Claire.
Yes, thank you. Yay.
Larry David.
I know who that is.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
me too. But that's about the extent of it.
It's his brilliance. That's all you need to understand.
I only knew him because of the Bernie skit.
Oh, no, that's sad. That is a sad
Isn't it, though?
You need to
He wrote Seinfeld.
You need to get on some Curb Your Enthusiasm.
He wrote Seinfeld.
That would require me sitting down in front of my television and watching something other than TED Talk and documentaries. So.
Well, you need to do that every now and then.
I'm
balance,
boring, man. I know.
You have to have a balance. I do believe you can't just.
I'm watching Turn. That's
crazy.
pretty awesome.
But hey,
drama.
But you know,
series.
Some people look. I'd go nuts. Like if I didn't just drown out with something stupid. Now I'll say this: in the past 2 years, I don't know. I've watched Mr. Robot. And
that's pretty good.
I watched House of Cards.
Hadn't seen Mr. Robot yet. I heard it's pretty good.
It's great. I
love House of Cards. House of Cards is phenomenal.
Just finished watching.
That's
Vikings.
Really it. Like I didn't do Breaking Bad. I didn't do any of that stuff.
You didn't do Breaking
missed
Bad
out,
either?
man.
Oh man, that's.
I don't even. Yeah.
Oh, you can.
I don't even watch TV. There's nothing. I can't find entertainment in anything anymore.
I don't either. But drama. I'm telling you, drama. Breaking Bad was a different kind of drama.
To be fair, though, I don't have cable in my house. Everything that I watch is off the internet, streaming, no commercials, the whole bit. I'm either that or if there's a show that I like and I've caught an episode or two at a friend's house or something, then I'll go back and get the DVD. I cannot stand commercials. Cannot stand commercials at all. I used to, long time ago, when I was a younger man, worked in radio and had to dub commercials and would listen to 8 hours of commercials about shampoo and toothpaste and healthcare and all sorts of crap. And man, after I got out of that, every single time that I would watch broadcast television, if a commercial came on, I'd have to mute it because it just drove me insane.
Hey, there's going to be a wall around the Democratic National Convention.
That's awesome.
Just in case you.
That writes itself.
Just
as an article, it really does.
That's a dank meme right there, if I've ever heard
so
one.
We've got
a picture of that.
We've got aspirin meme.
Yeah.
The medicine meme. And we've got the Trump commercial that we're going to clearly be making.
It's going to be awesome. We got to get Roy Wood Jr. involved.
And now we have the wall around the Democratic National Convention. Like this is comedy writing itself.
Yeah. I hope everybody's taking notes.
This is just pure comedy.
This might be our most. Nobody may listen to the show. This may wind up being our most lucrative show ever.
It could be. It very well could be.
Because as soon as I make that Hillary doll, the cackling Hillary doll.
Oh, yeah, the Hillary doll that I came up with, by the way.
Whatever.
Yeah, you know it happened.
Yeah,
so
I'll see you in court.
Got the Hillary doll, too. We're just, coming up with all kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
We're gonna go straight InfoWars and start selling this stuff.
Oh, I'm down with
the
it.
Hillary doll.
Cackle. And it's got to be wearing a little anti-media T-shirt.
And she just cackles. That'd be great. Nick would love it.
Yes.
Nobody would love that.
Everybody.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
You could have a Joe Biden one.
You could say whatever you want to, but the cackling Hillary doll is a moneymaker.
I think you could get a Trump one, and it could say like super offensive stuff. And
maybe they should come in a pair.
Yeah, you could say. I'm telling you, like really offensive. Because he's Trump, and it would actually be quotes of stuff he said.
Yeah,
like it would actually be his voice.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be false advertisement. It would actually be stuff that came out of his mouth.
Yeah, verbatim Trump.
I realized tonight, Claire, and I feel that this is important. Donald Trump shares a fraternity with Snoop Dogg and Ric Flair.
Get ready.
With the WWE Hall of Fame.
Hang on, I'm going to go ahead and cue this up.
They both got rings that say they're all in the same group. Same group of men. Snoop Dogg, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan.
You're making a meme right there. It just needs to be a question.
And Donald
Trump. What do these have in common?
Yeah. They're all in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Please make it stop.
What's wrong with her?
I'm gonna have nightmares.
And I'm gonna make so much money, it's gonna be sick. I don't ever have to talk to you people again.
Well,
it's gonna be awesome. I can make enough money to buy my way out of anything.
What's so amazingly ironic about all this is the meme that is up right now for the radio show is, do you guys want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? And there's a picture of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. How's that for irony?
You still need to include a link to this 10 hours of her laughing.
I should.
That's incredible.
We should do it. I'm going to do it, right?
You actually should do that. I side with you on that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's happening as we speak. So, Kevin, I'm going to bring you back into the conversation a little bit.
I'm listening with interest.
Kevin's ready to go home. He's already
Oh,
out.
no.
He's out of here.
Your reaction.
I saw something interesting about the Orlando shooter in some Deepwater Horizon documentary. Have you seen that?
No. What were you reading?
Just some. I saw it shared, and I see a ton of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I'm glad to know about it, but it's crazy. But it's supposedly some documentary came out about the Deepwater Horizon. I don't know if it's about necessarily the incident, but it was a short little clip from it. And it looks, and I'm one of those people that go and see all the hey, this is this person at every shooting, and I'm like, oh my gosh. You just have to roll your eyes when they say that all these people showed up at all these different scenarios. But this actually does look really like this guy, and I just hadn't actually dug into it. But it was a clip from the Deepwater Horizon, some documentary. But there's a guy who looks to be like a security guard or some similar kind of official type looking guy. And it does look like the Orlando shooter, at least the photograph of him when he's got the NYPD shirt on. Not a member of the NYPD, of course, but with a shirt on.
Well, there were two pictures of him wearing an NYPD shirt.
Well, at least the one there.
There's one with a shaved head, and there's one, and he's got glasses with the shaved head, and there's one.
The shaved head one was, I don't think he has glasses on the one they're comparing him to. I just thought it was interesting, a little short clip snippet. And so, anyways, it caught my interest, and it derailed my. But I was listening to you guys. All over the place.
Yeah, there really is a video on YouTube. Hillary Clinton laughing for 10 hours.
I told you.
Oh, of course, man.
What do you think I've been playing the whole time? This is great.
I thought you were kidding.
That's probably what they play in the
real.
detention center.
Well, I've been listening to it the whole time in between talking to y'all on the show.
That's what they'll play in the FEMA camps, man, to try to crack everybody.
What was it? I could say, what's the thing that always goes around the all the what is it they say? Jesse Ventura did a thing in Georgia. The
Guidestones.
Not the Guidestones, but the liners, the casket liners. You know the
FEMA
the FEMA liners.
Alex Jones went and did that with him too. Yeah.
And
got a kick out of that.
And I was making a joke today. I can see Trump getting up there and just be like, I'm going to take care of those. Everybody's worried about those casket liners down there. I'm going to take care of it.
I'm going to get rid of them.
I'm going to get rid of them. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to get rid of them, but I'm going to get rid of them. I believe it, Donald. I think you would get rid of them.
We're going to take all those and we're going to pay somebody to fill them up with dirt and bury them.
Yeah, with people in them.
And bring the economy roaring back.
Bring the economy roaring back.
And make America great again.
War is good for the economy. War is good for the economy.
War is the economy. What are you talking about?
It really is, because that's the only thing we export anymore.
Yeah, that's our major
People
export.
don't realize that the major export of the United States is bombing people.
And warfare.
And and
America.
statistically, numbers-wise, our number one export in this country is bombing people.
Yep.
Which makes you wonder.
It really is.
The report from Iron Mountain was a fictitious report or not. The report from Iron Mountain, I'm sure you guys saw, old report about whether or not the U.S. could, or what the world would be like if we lived in peace and war was not an option, or war was non-existent. Supposedly
we'd go broke, man. Come on.
Well, that's what's kind of the idea that this kind of special so-called report kind of pushed.
That we'd all go broke if we didn't.
Not just that, just that what a world would be like if we didn't have war. That industry and everything.
Freaking
else.
awesome.
Well, then we wouldn't have fiat currency and imperialism, and we might be able to take time in our communities and families and garden and do things that are actually worthwhile in pursuing. Perhaps.
Sarah, quit being silly here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a delusional moment. What am I thinking?
Yeah,
I love that. I mean, that just.
Oh yeah, I want to just that's going to be the new intro for the show. It's just our cackling. That's it.
I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm not even kidding.
That's awesome. That doll is coming to
I wonder if I wonder if we can splice it in. Welcome to at radio.
Oh my God.
It'd be great.
It's gonna happen. You know it is now.
Oh yeah.
The next intro to the show.
I'm working on it as we speak.
Yeah.
I figured you were.
Hillary Clinton cackling.
Ugh.
It's like, what's your definition of media? And just Hillary just cackling on top of it.
Let's do that. Freedom is the right to.
It's beautiful. It's going to be wonderful.
Save us all.
Oh, Hill.
So, sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. I'm sorry. There's just so much negative going on right now. Like every time you turn around, it's something negative. It's death at every corner.
That's what Hill does, just laughs it off.
Fear on everything right now is just fear, 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 fear. And I just feel like, why not sit here and listen to Hillary laugh? Or we could just harp on more fear.
We got about 7 minutes left in the show. You just want to do 7 minutes of her?
I'm not doing it. I refuse.
No!
Come on, man.
I will not take part of that. But... yeah, so the alt-right, man, they're going really hard against, scary hard against Muslims.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Well, I mean, all of the right, though.
No, this is worse. It's the whole religion. Up to this point, it's been immigrants. Well, no, it's not. Because they're like, the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I talking about? Either way, it's coming hard. Big time.
Yeah.
While the other side has guns, ban. I mean, that's it. I can't say it enough. I can't repeat that enough. Let's just ban something.
We have really lost sight of, I think, one of the fundamental ideals that we're supposed to be founded on. It's tolerance, and tolerance doesn't mean you have to accept what your neighbor does or, speaks to or their views or anything else, but tolerance in terms of just letting everybody else live their lives and not concerning yourself with what it is that they do. It doesn't matter. I mean, when we stop meddling in other people's lives and concerning ourselves in everybody else's business, then everybody you can breathe a sigh of relief and everybody relaxes, and we're not so keen and quick to blame vast swaths of people, like an entire religion, for something it's absurd. And in this tolerance, this idea that freedom rests on the idea that we should each be able to live how we choose, and we should ignore whatever anybody else chooses to do as long as they are not, bothering your life or being aggressive to you. It's a fundamental idea, and it's so simple, and we just have completely lost it.
The word, I think, instead of tolerance, because I think there's probably, there's people out there that hear that word, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's a buzzword.
But you know what? The word is compassion. If you have compassion for people, you're not going to go drone bomb them for no reason, or you're not going to be like, oh, he killed a 12-year-old child. Who cares? Let him keep his job. He had a BB gun. And make it like people need to have compassion. That's it. It's real, not as hard as people want it to be.
Right.
Everybody wants to beat each other's throats.
Well, and but the other side would argue that compassion has led this country to where it's at now.
No. That's taking the definition and twisting it.
Right.
I mean, compassion is really just it's when I was young, which is like 1,000 years ago, it was put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like, how would you want to be treated? And then I'm not going to go into like the whole Bible thing, or I'm going to keep this as plain as possible. But it's put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see how you would want to be treated. See how they feel. Like, imagine how that person feels. Imagine what they're going through. Imagine their situation. And if that person would want to be bothered, then you should not bother them. I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple that it's absurd that we don't do this anymore.
And yet there's people that have elected office that push buttons that affect thousands of people, or make phone calls, or sign sheets of paper. Yeah, she wants that pen. Give her the pen. So, has anybody thought about the fact that when Hillary Clinton, if she becomes president, which we all know she's not, but if she becomes president, she'd be sitting at the same desk where her husband sat, and he got a blow out the mouth.
Oh my God!
You think she'll move it just a little bit?
Has anybody ever thought about that?
That is a dang meme.
Same exact spot every day at work.
I think that's the dankest meme you've come up with so far.
I agree.
That is the dankest of the dank, my brother.
Well, it's true.
Yeah,
she's not going to be president.
That's some dankness.
We're never going to have to. We're never going to have to know the joy of Hillary Clinton being in. We're never going to get to know that pleasure, but.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
You had to go there.
Yeah. Let's ask Hill. Hill, what do you think about that?
That's it. I tell you what, there's only a couple minutes left. So make sure to listen to ucy.tv/TA.
It's not cutting off. It's just going to keep going. It's just fun.
Anti-Media Radio. BeAntiMedia.org/radio.
Hillary has hijacked the show.
Hillary's hijacked the show. Anti-Media Radio. I'm thrown off. I don't know what's going on now. It's okay.
Just say the damn show.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
Next video at some point. We'll be back at some point.